It's always a big event when the two-time defending World Series champions are in town. Off a trip to the White House yesterday, the Dodgers have arrived at Citi Field in firm pursuit of a third straight World Series championship. Well, it's a summer weekend in New York. Mets are back home for the first time since the All-Star break, and the weather couldn't be more perfect. After all, we're not in Corona, California. At Citi Field in New York, welcome to this presentation of Friday Night Mets on Pix 11. Tonight, the Mets play the Los Angeles Dodgers. And when the Dodgers are in town, that means a lot of Dodger fans. These folks were not around when the team was in Brooklyn, I'm just saying. Longtime Mets tormentor Freddie Freeman is in town. So is Kyle Tucker, who got away. And the Mets will face off against the team full of MVPs. Bo Bichette and the Mets looking to get some revenge after the Dodgers swept them in L.A. in April. And a pleasant good evening, everybody, and welcome to Citi Field. Gary Cohen, Ron Darling with you tonight. It's Mets open a 10-game homestand with the first of three against the two-time defending World Series champion Dodgers. The Dodgers have had some guys have not great years this year, and yet they still find themselves at the top of the heap with the best record in the majors.
I mean, that's the scary part, isn't it, Gary, is that they have some on their offensive lineup that just haven't come through. They have guys that are hurt, like Blake Snell and Tyler Glasnow. They're going to come back later in the year, so their additions will be all-stars, but still they have Ohtani, they have Freeman, they have Betts, they have Teoscar Hernandez with his 225 home runs hitting eighth.
Ohtani's not pitching right now, but he's still the best player on the planet. Meanwhile, rookie Sasaki will make his second straight start in New York for the Dodgers. He was thrown over 100 at Yankee Stadium last week.
He's got 3 unhittable pitches. The problem is last 6 starts, his ERA is almost 7. Hard to figure out Sasaki. One of the problems he has is with his control. In 113 innings in the major leagues, 58 walks.
He was great in the postseason coming out of the bullpen for the Dodgers. Meanwhile, Sean Manaea trying to bounce back from a very rough start in Philadelphia last time.
Yeah, those are the numbers against the Dodgers. His 7 starts since coming out of the pen, he's 2-4 with a 4.42 ERA.
So a weekend of baseball between the blue and orange. It's the Mets and the Dodgers at Citi Field. All the action coming your way on Pix 11.
This Nissan line.
New York Mets baseball on Pix 11 is brought to you by Cambridge Paving Stones. With Armor Tech, your outdoor dreams come true. By Parker Life, we make aging part of life. By Umberto's, home of the Grandma Pizza. And by Citizens, make sense of your money with Citizens. Mets world champions, Dodger world champions. Dodgers have had a few more. Especially lately.
Right.
3 this decade. Be one of the first 15,000 fans at Sunday's game against the Dodgers and receive a Hello Kitty plush keychain. Get your tickets now at Mets.com/tickets. That brings us to the themes of the game, brought to you by Bet365.
Oh, I just saw the Odyssey. Outstanding. Humanity striving for survival, Gary. 255 home runs since the start 2021 for Ohtani. Soto with that 404 on base percentage. He struggled of late, but still getting on base with the walks. And 34-19 record on the road against the Mets, who are 21-28 here at Citi Field.
That's been caught between Scylla and Charybdis for the last year plus. Trying to escape. Freedom. First pitch coming right up.
When you own a business, you own every decision.
You thought your '86 championship hung by a thread.
Yeah.
Right? Down to your final out. Think about how many threads the Dodgers had to put right through the head of a needle in order to beat the Blue Jays in Game 7.
I mean, it feels like they had to evade a six-pack of times that they were going to lose that Game 7, and still prevailed. And this guy was a big reason for it, inserting Andy Paez in the middle of an inning defensively, deciding to play Miguel Rojas. I'll tell you right now, no analytic in the world will tell you to play Rojas in Game 6 and 7.
No more unlikely postseason home run than the one Rojas hit to tie the game in the 9th. Then he made the great defensive play to get Connor Falefa by an eyelash at the plate, followed by the unbelievable play by Paez, getting out of the way of Kike Hernandez and catching the fly ball by Ernie Clement. Amazing. The entire thing was just amazing.
Rojas said before he left for the ballpark, his wife said, "You're going to hit a home run today." Crazy.
Well, he's in the lineup tonight playing second base.
Well, he always plays well against the Mets.
And especially against lefties, so he's in there. Starting lineup brought to you by Optimum Fiber. Freddie Freeman, active career leader in hits and runs batted in and runs scored. Might be heading for 3,000 hits before he's all done. No Will Smith. He's on the injured list with a neck injury, so the catcher Dalton Rushing.
They have really missed Will Smith, the real backbone of this team. Sean Manaea, I said it before, 7 starts so far since coming out of the bullpen. This is his 8th. The last 3 starts, he's given up 2 home runs in each of those starts. Keeping the ball in the ballpark, obviously, is first on the list for him against the Dodgers.
His first task will be Shohei Ohtani. This is Manaea's first start against the Dodgers since Game 6 of the League Championship Series 2 years ago. Didn't face them last year. Faced them twice in that series, a good Game 2 and a rough Game 6.
Well, the Infinity Mets defense, you have to straight go for the all-star quality outfield of Ewing, Robert Jr., and Benj. Same infield with Jared Young at first base and Alvarez behind the plate.
Monsoto DHing today after sitting out the game on Wednesday, just trying to get that calf to be 100%. So here's Ohtani, who's been dealing with a knee injury and thus not pitching the last few weeks, but having his usual spectacular season at the plate. He's been having a spectacular season on the mound too, just not right now. Manaea's first pitch of the night is a fastball swung and missed, and we're underway.
They said that Ohtani versus left-handed pitching has really been pulling off the ball. Only 4 for 25 since the All-Star break.
54 and 55 home runs each of the last 2 years, just 22 this year. The down power year for Ohtani, but he's still 3rd in the National League in OPS at .917. And the 4-time MVP takes strike 3 call. Ohtani challenging the strike 3 call by Mike Estabrook. So a very early challenge, and he wins it. So Manaea back to work at 1 and 2. And Ohtani rips one through the hole for a base hit. So Shohei Ohtani is aboard to start the night.
Well, that's the first breaking ball he saw, and he was all over it. Kind of middle of the plate breaking ball. And that has been the pitch, really, that has not been effective for Minaya.
Although his last start,
Yeah, it was much better.
it was. The Phillies went 0 for 10 against the sweeper, but they hit everything else. So now Andy Pages, who got off to a great start this year, he's come back to earth, but he's still 7th in the National League in RBIs. And he takes the fastball just off the plate for ball 1. Pages made his first All-Star game this season in his 3rd year. Fly ball out to right center field, and over comes Benj to call. And that's the first out of the night. So Pages is retired, 1 out and 1 on.
Minaya, I know it's only 2 batters, but seems to have a lot more life on his fastball here tonight.
And now Tommy Edman. We didn't see Edman when the Mets were in LA in April. He was on the injured list until the middle of June, coming back from off-season ankle surgery. So he's only had 86 at-bats, but he's been tearing it up since he's returned. This one foul back into the backstop, and it's 0-1. Edman was the MVP of that league championship series against the Mets 2 years ago. Had 11 hits and 11 RBIs in the 6-game series. Only his 23rd start of the season. Playing third base tonight, Max Muncy sitting against the lefty. And the fastball on the outside edge for a strike, and it's 0-2.
You can keep the ball down on Edman. That's the key, especially from the right side. He loves the ball up in the strike zone.
Right off his fists. 93 from Minaya. We've not often seen that this year. Here's your umpiring quartet. Mike Esterbrook's already been overturned once. Lance Barrett, Malachi Moore, and the crew chief Alfonso Marquez on the bases. There's Muncy sitting tonight. Just passed a milestone. 5th now all time on the Dodger home run list. Swing and a miss. Minaya with the sweeper gets Edman for the 2nd out.
For this pitch to be effective, he's got to be able to keep it down and off the plate. Present it as a strike out of his hand and then bend it so it is not on the plate. Perfect pitch there from Sean.
And now 36-year-old Freddie Freeman still up to his old tricks. Top 10 in the National League in base hits and on base percentage. Struggled a bit against lefties this year, more than in the past. And he takes a fastball for ball 1. Well, Freddie's got 31 career home runs against the Mets. He's got the 2nd most doubles all time against the Mets, 61 of them. Only Pete Rose had more. Good sinker there by Minaya, and it's 1-1.
That's the pitch that's been giving Freddie fits. That ball down and in. Sinking fastball or even changeups lefties have been throwing him that pitch.
2,540 career hits for Freddie Freeman. (1,373 runs batted in. Both of those lead all active players. Minaya ahead of him 1-2. Ohtani takes off, swung and missed, strike 3. So Minaya with back-to-back strikeouts of Edman and Freeman. He'll get himself through the 1st inning. Mets come to bat, no score.
It begins.
David Stern said earlier today, we're going to build around our young players and our 2 future Hall of Famers. Mets lineup brought to you by Blue Chew Gold. Said Hall of Famers, 2nd and 4th. A.J. Ewing leads off and smacks one deep to right, but it's playable for Kyle Tucker, and he makes the grab on the first pitch thrown by Roki Sasaki, 1 out.
Something you usually don't see. Ewing swinging at the first pitch, leading off. That's Sasaki's numbers this year. talked about the walks, but even more importantly, 86 and 2/3 innings. He's given up 19 home runs. In a full season, that would be a 40 home runs allowed type of year.
He's interesting in that he has two different forkballs.
Yeah, or two different splitters, or whatever.
One is, I guess one is a split and one is a forkball, technically. Juan Soto runs up in the box and takes low and in for ball one. I mean, the split comes in about 90. The forkball comes in about 85. The split is more for strikes and the fork is more for chases. The problem is his fastball has been hit hard. It's that one away 2-0.
Well, you said last game against the Yankees, 5 2/3, just an unearned run allowed. He was averaging over 100 miles an hour on his four-seamer.
In fact, since pitch tracking started in 2008, that's the most pitches for a Dodger of 100 miles an hour or more in the last 18 years. He's behind on Soto 3-0 with Bichette on deck. And Juan takes it down for ball four. So a 4-pitch walk to Soto, and the Mets have a 1-out base run.
Toyota Dodgers defense. Hernandez used to play right. He's moved to left the last couple of seasons. Pages excellent in center. Kyle Tucker, Gold Glove in right field. Freeman, Rojas, Mookie Betts, Tommy Edman, and Dalton Rushing behind the plate because of the injury to Will Smith.
You see Betts there with the 6 Gold Gloves. Those were all won in the outfield.
Right.
Now he's become an elite defender at shortstop. Bo Bichette takes a strike.
He worked hard at it because when he first moved there, he was not.
Bichette slices one foul on a 99-mile-an-hour fastball, 0-2.
I mean, is this glove even legal? Look at the size of this mitt that Sasaki has. That's a big glove. Laces untied there on the outside.
I mean, he's not a huge guy. The glove takes up most of his chest.
That's right.
And Bichette goes down on the splitter, and that is the second out.
So, Gary, the difference between the splitter and the forkball is just really the grip. The forkball will have a wider grip. The split finger, that's the wide grip forkball. And when it comes out, it looks and acts like a knuckleball. The split finger more, it's hard to pick up the spin, but it really looks like a knuckleball when it comes in.
So 2 outs, Soto at first, and here's Lindor. Francisco really came alive during that last road trip. Last 4 games, 8 hits and 15 at bats as he tries to get a second restart to his season. Letting his hair down.
Yeah.
Fastball for a strike, and it's 1-1. Most of these Mets are seeing Sasaki for the first time. He did not face them as a rookie last year, nor in April when the Mets were there.
I mean, it was a struggle for him last year. He had a hard time even throwing strikes for most of the 25 campaign until the postseason.
Well, they utilized him out of the bullpen, and all he did was retire the first 15 batters he faced in the postseason. He wound up working in 9 games, 10 1/3 innings, only 1 run allowed. He had 3 saves in the postseason. But right back in the rotation this year. A good splitter there to get even on Lindor 2-2.
I mean, Gary, imagine that. That weapon. They didn't even know if they were going to have him available for the postseason. He comes out, he's their best reliever.
But that's the way the Dodgers roll. I mean, they've got 9 pitchers on the injured list right now. Line the other way, but right at Edman. Probably didn't have to jump. Side retired. A walk in, 1 left. No score after 1. The MLB Journey to 30 sweepstakes presented by T-Mobile is the ultimate MLB fan bucket list. Visit MLB.com/journey to 30 sweeps for your chance to win trips to all 30 ballparks. Second inning, Mookie Betts leads off against Shamania and grounds one out to shortstop. Lindor throws out his counterpart. 1 pitch, 1 retired from Manaea in the second. And now Miguel Rojas.
Rojas is having his best offensive year of any season other than 2020, which wasn't really a season, at age 37. Getting the start at second base tonight. Second base has been a revolving door for the Dodgers because Edman was hurt early, and so Alex Freeland played there quite a bit. And of course, Rojas hitting the home run off Jeff Hoffman that broke Blue Jay hearts.
Country's hearts.
And then made the play in the bottom of the ninth that saved the game.
Right.
With some help from Will Smith's toe. Breaking ball popped up into shallow left center. Angling in his Ewing. On the dead run, he makes the catch. Boy, speed is just a remarkable commodity. Well, here's the play in the bottom of the ninth of Game 7. Bases loaded. Kiner Follett for the winning run at third. Off balance. Right on target. And Smith's foot barely stayed on the plate.
I mean, stumbled and still threw a strike. And got Kiner Follett at home. I mean, that's one of the 3, 4, 5 cases we said where you thought Toronto was going to walk it off.
Now Tucker takes a strike. Well, in a slightly different scenario, Kyle Tucker would be a Met this year. Mets certainly pursued him hard before he went and signed with the Dodgers for a huge short-term deal. He has not hit in a way that he has never not hit in his career.
And they said his defense has not been Gold Glove caliber, but he's hitting against a pitcher he's had a tremendous amount of success against.
4 home runs in his career against Minai, but that swing looks terrible.
Yeah, he's always had a very unusual swing. We always talk about left-handed hitters having the most beautiful swings. Well, his is not that. It's, I don't know, it's like swinging an oar almost when I watch him swing.
But that swing has produced a lifetime 845 OPS. He golfs this one out to right. Should be easy for bench. This year he's at 689, so a huge come down for Tucker. Minai's got a 1-2-3 second. Still no score at Citi Field. Always loved the frozen lemonade. Very, very underrated.
I've never had the frozen lemonade.
No.
I'm telling you.
Oh, you got to.
I got to have one of those before the season's done.
Absolutely. Home second inning. Carson Bench leads off against rookie Sasaki. Bench 4 for 12 over his last 3 games and takes low and inside at 100. Ball 1. So Ronnie and I are playing a couple of men short tonight. We had to send Keith home because he arrived at the ballpark sounding like Harvey Firestein.
Yes, he did. From Mrs. Doubtfire or Mulan? Oh my!
Harvey's a friend, and you know, we would love to have him on the broadcast sometime, but Keith's voice coming out that way, it wouldn't have played. So we sent him home. Ground ball on the right side, and Rojas is in front of it. And perhaps even more importantly, our stage manager Russ Relkin has had to undergo some medical issues over the last few days, and we hope he'll be back shortly. But our friend Chris Riley is here to fill in.
Yes, he is.
He's a lot taller than Russ, and he does crack a smile occasionally.
He does. He has a big personality. Russ, we miss you, and we hope you're feeling better. I know you're watching the game. You are crazy Mets fan.
Well, he's watching along with his daughter Samantha.
Yes.
Biggest Mets fan in the world. Luis Robert, 3rd game back from the injured list. 1 for 9 so far, and the one was a titanic home run. He grounds this one foul. Ball to strike to Robert.
I've seen a lot of home runs hit in Milwaukee. I've never seen one go where this one went. Concourse, I think you called it, right, Gary?
Yeah.
I mean, just look at Zach Thornton was like, what?
He awed his bench, that's for sure.
He's a strong man.
Well, He's going to be in the lineup most of the time between now and 10 days from now, because it makes perfect sense for the Mets to be showcasing Robert as much as possible. See if there are teams interested in him for their stretch drive. David Stearns spoke to the media today and was asked a lot of questions about the trading deadline. And it all comes down to this. He's going to hang on to his younger players, and he said he plans to have his Hall of Famers be part of his core, which, you know that Soto's not going anywhere, and there's been so much speculation about Lindor, and perhaps that mutes that somewhat.
Yeah, that was his way of saying that. And he also said, because we're 10 days out, that these deals usually come within the last 24 to 48 hours.
And so much of what the Mets can expect to get back will depend on how many teams decide between now and 10 days from now that they're out of it. Because there are only basically 6 teams in the majors that are out of it right now. You got the Mets, the Giants, and the Rockies in the National League. The Angels, the Royals, and I guess the A's in the American League. And other than those 6 teams, everybody else is within 6 games of a postseason berth. So what happens in the next 10 days will have a huge impact. Robert lays off the slider, and it's 2-2.
Well, I think this is one of the more difficult years to really look at your team and evaluate it as a pretender or contender, right? Especially in the American League.
And Roberts skies one to deep left field. Back goes Hernandez to the warning track near the wall. It's out of here. Luis Roberts strikes again. His 4th home run of the year, his 2nd in 3 games back from the injured list. This is the guy who had 38 home runs in a season for the White Sox. 1-0 New York.
20 home runs allowed now by Sasaki in 87 innings pitched. And I said it before, he's just so strong. You know, early in the season, he was so good at kind of deciding what to swing and not what to swing at, what not to swing at. And boy, he's been a little more aggressive since coming off the injured list.
Well, it's easy to forget the start that he got off to at that first series against the Pirates. He had a walk-off home run. He went 5 for 11 in the 3 games. There were all sorts of stories being written about how he's turned the corner physically, and hasn't worked out that way. Came up with the back problem in late April, missed 73 games, but here he is getting himself off to a hot power start in his return. And now Jared Young lines one into right center for a base hit. Pages has to play it deep. Young's going to try for 2. The throw by Pages, he may get him, and he's saved. Young got around the tag by Betts. It's a double for Jared Young. Challenging Pages, who has a very strong arm. But that ball came on a couple of hops, and Young was able to beat the tag.
Well, first the bullet hit by Young, and I love the hustle out of the box. Pages gets back to it and spun around and threw a strike. I think if Mookie could have stayed on the base and waited for the ball to come to him instead of reaching for it, he might have had a better shot. Watch, he reaches to go out and get it on that short hop. The bigger hop would have been a harder hop to get, but it might have given him a better chance for the tag. Your hand never moves as fast as the ball.
Now Marcus Semien, who is the only Met who had ever faced Sasaki before tonight. Marcus has played 4 games since his return from the injured list, 2 for 16, including a home run on Wednesday in Milwaukee.
Here's a look at the home run from Robert Jr. First, the 4-seamer. He was trying to come in and up. Got it up, did not get it in. And just a sky shot by Luis. Good start for the Mets.
Semien lays off the splitter, and it's 2-2.
You really like seeing this from the side chart. You'll see how quick he is inside. And once that ball got in the air, it just did not come out of the air.
And that had the serious backspin that you usually get from a Soto home run. 2-2 to Semien. And he tries to lay off, but this time Lance Barrett punches him out.
Well, that's one up here. Now, I'm not at the right angle. I did not think he went. Andy Green didn't think he went either. There was a time that as a veteran, you'd get the benefit of the doubt. He did not go.
No, not even slightly.
No. I really feel like you have to come through with your wrists, and his strength held that bat back.
So 2 out, Young still at second, and now Francisco Alvarez, who had a good road trip with the bat. He drives this one out to center. Shallow coming on is Pages, and he's got it. That retires the side, but Luis Roberts' home run puts the Mets on top, 1-0 after 2. Drive around the majors brought to you by Lexus. Chris Sale struck out 11 last night against the Padres, so he's on this list.
Wow.
With the most double-digit strikeout games of all time.
It's a good list to be on. Nolan Ryan has got the most no-hitters, 1-hitters, 2-hitters, on and on.
Oh, he did pitch 27 years.
He did.
Teoscar Hernandez leads off against Sean Manaea, who's retired 6 straight after giving up a leadoff hit to Shohei Ohtani. Hernandez's numbers are down this year. 694 OPS is a career low. And he's laying on a fastball, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, 100 points lower than his career. 225 home runs from the 8th spot, though, is a nice luxury to have.
If this one foul, that'll go out of play. Hernandez now in his 3rd year with the Dodgers. He had a couple of hits against Manaea in the LCS 2 years ago. Sean pitched great in Game 2 of that series. 5 innings, 2 hits, got the win. Game 6, he was out of gas.
Yeah.
And the Dodgers clinched a trip to the World Series that night. That's it sharply, and a fair ball. I don't think Bichette thought it was fair. Ewing's got a chance to throw it out, but a wide throw, and Hernandez is safe. A good throw, and Ewing would have had him. But Hernandez hustles a double.
I think AJ rushed to make that throw. That ball's fair. Went over the corner of that bag, even though it's 3 feet foul by the time he gets to Bichette. We'll see it again, just over the corner of that bag. Marquez calls it. AJ had more time. He kind of rushed it. And remember, hasn't played a lot of left field, so he's just getting used to those angles on the throws.
His first game ever in left field was on Tuesday, and he made 2 spectacular plays. So now Dalton rushing with the tying run at second. Rushing doing most of the catching these days with Will Smith on the sidelines. He's an offensive catcher. He's had his problems defensively, communication, the like.
He runs hot. That is a definite.
But he's had a nice offensive year so far. 11 home runs and just 194 at bats. And he takes strike 3 called. Fastball right at the knees. That's the 3rd strikeout from Manaea. 1 down.
Well, the one thing that Sean is doing well so far is that he's getting ahead of the hitters. That's very important for Sean.
7 of 9 first pitch strikes, first time through the order. Now Ohtani, who looked like he had been struck out leading off the game, but challenged a 2-strike call, got the overturn, and they got a base hit. Oh, good swing at that. 1-1. Ohtani, the only man ever to win multiple MVPs in both leagues, and it continues to pitch, and he should be pitching in a couple of weeks, I would think. And he's had a fabulous year on the mound. You would expect that he will win the MVP every year he plays.
That's right. because no one can do what he does. Can't replicate it. He is usually one of the top 3 hitters in the league and one of the top 5 pitchers in the league.
An eye ahead of a 1-2. I think he can legitimately be called the greatest player to ever play the game.
I've never seen anyone like him. The last game I did in the postseason last year, Gary, he struck out 10 and he hit 3 home runs. 1 out of Dodger Stadium. I didn't even know what to do that night. I was wandering around aimlessly.
Pulled on the ground to first and handled by Young. And Ohtani retired. Hernandez to third, 2 out. Well, in April, the Dodgers swept 3 at Dodger Stadium. The Mets scored a total of 3 runs in the 3 games.
Yeah, they outscored the Mets 14-3. McLean with a great effort in the second game. That was a fun game to watch.
And Tucker had a blue pit against Brooks Raley to put them in front in that game. They were all well-pitched games until the last one. Here's Andy Pages, who flied out to right his first time up. And he takes the sweeper outside for ball 1. The Dodgers, very much like the Brewers, who the Mets just finished playing, do not chase much. They have the second lowest chase rate in the majors. But unlike the Brewers, who have the highest ground ball rate, the Dodgers hit the ball in the air.
They do.
This is a home run hitting team.
Yeah.
134 home runs, 4th in the National League. And they lead the league in on-base percentage. Just off the inside corner with a fastball, and it's 2-1.
Pages, look at the defense of the Mets. It's about as straight up as you'll see a defense against a hitter. It shows you he can go from line to line. That's a pitch in the first month and a half of the season he did not miss.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was no way he was going to keep up the offensive pace that he was on. Just 25 years old. Two coming up and away. And you know, when he first came up, there were questions about his defense. Now he's one of the best defensive outfielders in baseball.
They really thought James Outman was going to be the starting center fielder for years to come, and Pages just really took the job, wrestled the job away from him.
#1 center fielder in baseball by defensive runs saved. He's a +16 this year. That's among the best at any position.
Look at that balls to strikes ratio. That is a thing of beauty.
Santana-esque.
That's right.
Three-two coming to Pages, and it misses inside, ball 4. First walk given up by Sean.
I was mentioning this before to Gary. He knew this number. You can see when he gets ahead, not only the average but the OPS. Just one of the most stark differences, 0-1-1-0 for any pitcher in baseball.
And you know, it's like we were talking about before with the chase rate. If you've got a team that you're facing that does not go out of the strike zone much, you have to get ahead. You have to fill the strike zone. It's been troublesome at times for Sean. It was in his last start against the Phillies. Here's Tommy Edman, struck out his first time up. Lines one to Lindor, snags it knee high for the out. Bullet off the bat of Edman, and Manaea strands a pair in the third. Still 1-0. Home third inning, 1-0 New York on the strength of a Luis Robert home run. Top of the batting order, A.J. Ewing will lead off against rookie Sasaki. Ewing swung at the first pitch Sasaki threw tonight in a fly ball in right field. Soto and Bichette to follow. And Ewing takes the first pitch slider for a strike. A.J. had a couple of hits on Wednesday in the last game in Milwaukee. Last 14 games hitting .311 with an .878 OPS, and he grounds this one toward the middle on the backhand. Rojas throws him out, one away. Tonight's poll question presented by Ford. Which player would you most like to see stay with the Mets? Use your phone to scan the QR code on your screen to submit your answer now. In our last poll, 29% of you voted for Mike Piazza as the greatest hitter in Mets history, with David Wright and Pete Alonso both close behind with 23%. Here's Juan Soto, who walked out 4 pitches his first time, and this time takes a knee-high strike. Soto had a rough road trip. Just 3 for 17. I don't know how much the calf was bothering him. Sat out the last game. He's DHing again tonight. Andy Green said the calf was good enough to play left field, but they're trying to make sure that he's healthy for the rest of the season.
Remember, he missed that first series in Los Angeles because of the problem with the other calf.
Right. Fastball away at 99, 2 balls and a strike.
I don't know if you folks at home can hear it, but Sasaki really grunting almost on each and every pitch he throws.
And Sasaki got the call at the knees. Soto's challenging it, but I think they might lose this one.
I mean, the rare challenge from Soto.
Nope, gets the call.
It's literally been less than 5 times he's challenged all season long.
Well, that was a good distance down. So now it's 3-1 to Juan, who walked his first time. Bo Bichette is on deck. And that one's down for ball 4. So Soto walked for the second time tonight, 63rd time this year. Mets baseball is brought to you by Pix 11 in partnership with Wounded Warrior Project. By Empire City Casino, more play, more perks, earn it all here with MGM Rewards. Ride the thrill. By BritBox, stream the best of British TV. And by your local Kia dealers, visit kia.com to discover movement that inspires. Bichette takes a slider for a strike. Bo struck out his first time up. Soto getting a big lead at first. It's split by Sasaki, and it's 0-2. You see the split between the splitter and the forkball. We've seen more split and less forkball so far tonight.
Yeah, if he identifies you as one of those guys that's going to offer at that split, he will just keep throwing it over and over. And so far, Bichette, these first 2 at bats, has been biting on that ball out of the zone.
And Bo hits one past the mound, right near the bag. Rojas with a step and throw for the double play. Side retired. 4-4-3 double play ends the inning. After 3, 1-0 Mets. Powerball double play is here now. Double your play. Powerball double play for just $1 more. Try it today. New York Lottery. Can you imagine? Here's your Powerball double play replay.
I mean, the awkward part is that he had to reach for it with his left foot and throw sidearm, but he made it look easy like he always does.
Freddie Freeman leads off and takes inside. Anaya has done an outstanding job keeping the ball inside early in this game. He struck out Freeman his first time up. And we're going to get a challenge by Alvarez. Called a ball by Estabrook.
I mean, this ball is a flat out strike. Just a miss for Mike Estabrook. Remember, Freddie Freeman, has he held true to his promise? Has he not challenged any pitch this year?
I think he's challenged 1 or 2.
Okay.
Yeah, he said in spring training he was not going to challenge at all. He was going to save it for his catchers. By the way, did you hear the air of resignation that Mike Estabrook announced the return call on? That's lined the other way, and Freeman's got a base hit. Career hit number 2,541. And it only feels as though they've all been against the Mets.
Well, he decided that at bat he wasn't going to swing at anything inside, looking for the ball away and going that way. Mets defensively played him up the middle, so it gave him a nice hole to shoot at. He's one of the few hitters talented enough to do that.
So a leadoff base hit for the second straight inning for LA, and now Mookie Betts grounded out to short on the first pitch he saw, and he takes fastball for a strike. That's the 2018 American League MVP, now in his 6th year with the Red Sox. He's now played more games with the Dodgers than he did with the Red Sox. Loops this one into right center field. That's down for a base hit. And Freeman will go first to third. So Mookie Betts with a base hit. The Dodgers have the table set. First and third and nobody out.
Just a methodical kind of offense. They just first couple of bats or first at bat try to measure how you're trying to get him out. And their second at bats have been exponentially better. Freeman still, that ankle never really healed 100%.
Always looks like he's in pain when he's running. So first and third, nobody out. Mets will play the infield back at double play depth with Miguel Rojas up. Rojas flied out to left his first time up. Rojas came into the day hitting .330 against left-hand pitching. All 3 of his home runs have come against lefties this year, where he gets the majority of his playing time. He flies this one out to right. That'll get the run in. Tagging at third, Freeman. Bench makes the catch. Freeman comes on home to score, and the game is tied. Sacrifice fly from Gil Rojas, and it's 1-1.
He has just always been an outstanding, how would I say it, a team offensive player. He just does all the little things, puts that ball in play to the outfield to score the run. Always has his entire career.
Did it for years for the Marlins as their unofficial captain before coming back to the Dodgers, where he began his career. Here's Kyle Tucker, who flied out to right his first time up. And that one trickles away from Alvarez. Betts was moving back to the bag as Minaya made that pitch. Otherwise, perhaps he would have had a chance to advance. Betts does not steal bases anymore. Only 1 this year. Tucker takes fastball for a strike, and it's 1-1. Kyle Tucker, now 29 years old, came out of the same high school in Tampa that produced Pete Alonso, Plant High School. He went straight to the pros, drafted 5th overall by the Astros out of high school.
Has always been the analytics player's dream, a guy that power, speed, good defensive player.
Those are the career numbers. These 2026 numbers pale. And now Sean starting to spray it around a little bit behind 3-1 on Tucker. Oscar Hernandez waiting on deck. And Tucker swings through the fastball, 3-2.
I mean, his right foot is almost out of the batter's box once he follows through. Hard to keep that right hip or that front side closed enough.
3-2, 1 out. Betts at first, not running, and Tucker takes a very borderline pitch. Alvarez, did he challenge in time? No. As
too late.
Says you were not prompt enough.
Yeah, he thought about it and then tried to challenge it. I thought it was too late as well. Estabrook is saying that you have 2 seconds to do it, and he said he didn't get it in time. He's going to ask his mates. Maybe they saw something different. I thought it took too long, only because Alvarez was considering, like, should I do it this early in the game? And then he said, yes, I should, because it's a big at-bat.
He definitely waited a beat.
Yes.
No question. But the question is, did Minaya touch his hat?
I didn't see that.
Alfonso Marquez, the crew chief, doing most of the talking on the right.
So he said, I called ball, I waited, then he challenged. That's too long, according to Estabrook. And Andy Green knows this is a big pitch and a big part of this game.
Also knows he's not going to get any satisfaction.
Yeah. Okay, watch Minaya. I didn't see what Sean did anything. No, he put his glove up. That doesn't work.
He's telling Alvey to challenge.
Yeah.
Instead of challenging it himself, which he is perfectly entitled to do. And the delay cost the Mets the opportunity to challenge. Did you think it was a strike?
I thought it was a strike, yes.
Well,
it's hard to tell there because it's coming from that low angle that he throws straight across the plate.
And that box is not the box that gets judged. Anyway, 2-man on now. Second walk of the night for Minaya. Teoscar Hernandez, the batter. And Hernandez fouls away a first pitch fastball. Hernandez pulled a double over the third base bag in the third inning.
To me, you have to be careful with the breaking pitch to Hernandez. Really speeds up his bat, and that's his home run pitch.
Up and in with the fastball, and it's 1-1. Fourth innings have not been kind to Minaya this year. As a starter, his fourth inning ERA is 9. The second time through the order has often been the killer for him.
You know, I was saying before that Mike Estabrook was saying 2 seconds, because that's what he said. But it really is not the seconds. It's more like the beats. You know, like there were 2 beats where Alvarez just was contemplating what he should do, and then he did it.
It appeared as though Alvarez challenged in reaction to Minaya motioning with his glove toward his head, and that delay seemed to cost him the opportunity.
I think it was a combination of a lot of things, Gary. I thought it was that. I thought it was the Mets have not been very good with the ABS system, so he was just trying to do the right thing.
Right, but that is a high leverage call. 3-2 pitch with a man on base. And that's a borderline strike to Hernandez. He didn't think so. 2-2.
These two teams early here are fighting over every pitch.
Well, they had an off day yesterday. They got a lot of
feisty.
Let's store it up. 2-2 coming. Foul back. Steady diet of fastballs for Hernandez this entire at bat. Hernandez spent most of June on the injured list with a hamstring. He's been slow to recover, just 6 for his last 51. And that's too high, and now another full count. Second of the inning. And third of the game for Minaya. Betts at second, Tucker at first with 1 out. And Hernandez skies one to right. Over toward the line comes Benj. He'll have room. And he's got it. Tagging at second is Betts. He'll go to third. Ball cut off by Lindor. So that's a big out for Minaya. Now they're a 2-away, and he'll get the left-hand hitting Dalton Rushing. With Will Smith out, the backup catcher for the Dodgers is an inexperienced switch hitter named Eliezer Alfonso. So Rushing's in there basically every day against lefties and righties.
Struck out looking the first time, did Rushing. He really wanted to challenge a pitch. He did not. Young players in RBI situations with 2 outs, after they've taken a pitch for a strikeout in their first at bat, look for him to be really aggressive here on this first pitch. Quality pitch needs to be made.
First and third and 2 out. And Rushing takes a fastball right there for a strike. And another one. And it's 0-2. Dalton Rushing from the University of Louisville, the same school that produced Will Smith. And Henry Davis, who was first overall pick in the draft by the Pirates. Another catcher. 0-2 coming. And the slider off the plate. 1-2.
Well, Will Smith from Louisville is the quiet man. Rushing is the angry man from Louisville.
And he pops this one up into shallow left. Ewing coming on. He's there. And he's got it inside, retired. And now limits the damage to 1 run. We're tied up in the 4th. The Marlins come to Citi Field for Friday Night Mets next week. Coverage will begin at 6:30 with the Cure Auto Insurance pregame, and then first pitch will come your way at 7:10. 10-game homestand, longest of the year for the Mets.
That's a 4-game series against the Fish, right?
Got 3 with the Dodgers, then 3 with the Braves, and then 4 with the Marlins. Francisco Lindor lined out to third base his first time up. Takes a fastball strike from Roki Sasaki. Sasaki's given up only 2 hits, the home run to Luis Robert and a following double by Jared Young. Lindor, Benj, and Robert to bat for the Mets in the 4th. Splitter splits the plate, and it's 0-2. To Lindor with Benj on deck. Fouls off the splitter. Roki Sasaki pitched in Japan for the Chiba Lotte Marines, the same team that Bobby Valentine managed when he managed over in Japan. And when he was 20 years old in 2022, he threw a perfect game in the Japanese Pacific League. And then the game after he threw a perfect game, he threw 8 perfect innings.
Like he retired 56 or something hitters in a row.
At 20 years old. It's like Doc Gooden.
Well, there was one game, I don't know if it was a no-hitter, Gary. He struck out 19 and 13 in a row, which is I guess a world record, right?
Well, he's a young man who has overcome immeasurable heartbreak. Swing and a miss, got him with a splitter. And Sasaki has a strikeout. That's his 3rd. When he was 9 years old in 2011, there was a great tsunami that hit Japan. And he lost his dad, his grandparents, and his house.
That's right.
In that tsunami. 9 years old. You can only imagine what it takes to survive that emotionally.
I think his family for the next couple of years had to live in a nursing home to get by. And here he is. Makes it easy to root for him, right?
Carson Bench grounded out his first time up, and he lost the bat trying to get to that splitter.
That was so strange. He lost the bat, but then it stuck to his fingers or something because it didn't jump out of his hands like Lindor's did in Milwaukee. It kind of just wrapped around his body.
Well, Lindor threw his almost to the right field corner.
That's right.
And Bench goes down on the splitter. So Sasaki with back-to-back strikeouts, 2 down. Health report brought to you by Northwell. Well, that we can't even fit all the Dodger pitchers who are on the injured list on the graphic, but those are some of the prominent names.
Snell's supposed to come back in August. Glasnow is supposed to come back in September. Edwin Diaz is going to come back probably as soon as they leave here.
There was some talk about Edwin coming back this weekend, but they're going to pitch him in another rehab game on Sunday and then activate him when they get home. And I think that's at least in part to avoid the circus that would prevail if Edwin came back here, at least this year.
Well, it's been a successful road trip, long road trip for the Dodgers so far. They took a series at Yankee Stadium and took a series in Citizens Bank Park.
4-2 on the trip so far. Trip to Washington between those stops, and you know they might get a lot of member reward points on Amtrak.
That's right.
Philly to New York to Washington, back to New York.
I just took the Amtrak to Philly when the Mets were there. The new trains are beautiful.
I have to tell you something.
Yeah.
I had never ridden Amtrak first class before. Nice play by Freeman, and they get the out. That is a terrific ride.
Fruit plate for breakfast and get the cheese plate for lunch.
That's pretty impressive. 1-1 game after 4. Fifth inning on a beautiful night at Citi Field. 77 degrees right now. A little light breeze blowing. Sean Manaea has been good through 4 innings. Third time around the batting order now. Shohei Ohtani, who has singled to right and grounded out. 1 for 2. And Sean's first fastball in for a strike, 0-1. He has really been challenging Dodger hitters with his fastball.
You can just tell by his body language he likes his fastball tonight.
Tries the sweeper and misses away. A ball and a strike. Sean is throwing his fastball. Four-seamer 66%, sinker 15%. That's 81% fastballs tonight. That's way above his norm. 1-2 coming. And it's flicked foul by Ohtani.
Emergency swing from Ohtani. You don't see that very often.
Does he wince after every pitch?
He does.
Crazy, isn't it?
Just his own personal ticks at the plate.
I mean, if he were a soccer player, you'd have to be bringing the little card out for him every time he gets touched.
Be calling a yellow card, dropping a yellow card on Sean Manaea.
1-2 coming to Ohtani. And the sweeper hooked down the right field line. How did he do that? Ohtani heads for second. And he's going to take the turn and go for 3. The relay by Lindor, and he's out at third base. Perfect relay from Bench to Lindor to Bichette, and Ohtani out stretching a double into a triple.
On that bad knee, can still fly. Look at this pitch. It's 6 inches off the plate. One-handed, hooks it into right field. Bench had a long way to go for it, but he hits the cutoff man. That's the key. And all Lindor had to do was turn around and throw a strike.
Well, I mean, I was in shock at the way he hit that ball. I mean, a ball that's 2 feet off the plate that he's able to hook down the right field line. How do you do that?
I don't know. Just superior bat the ball skills. Can't explain it. Watch the swing first. He's already committed. Out in front foot, one-handed, flicks it into right field, and it almost goes all the way to the wall. But love watching him run even on the bad knee, but not the right play.
Not with nobody out.
With nobody out, you got to stay at second, and he made the mistake. The Mets made him pay.
Well, he's never seen Carson Benj's arm before. That's part of it.
You have to be 100% safe if you're going to make that play. Never make the first or last out at third.
Third outfield assist for Benj, and that was not easy for Lindor because you have to reach down for it and then pivot. You know, you'd like to catch the ball on the same side you throw it, but you have to turn around to make that relay throw. Now Pages drives one to center. Robert gives some ground, and he's got it 2 out. The Mets have their best defensive outfield out there.
Even despite not being a good play, I love watching Ohtani run. This is a 6'4", 215-pound guy who can fly. The only person I can equate it to, baseball sense, was Kirk Gibson. He used to be able to fly at that size. Bo Jackson. And then the freeze gets him right on the thigh before that cleat catches the bag.
Well, he's the only man in history to hit 50 home runs and steal 50 bases in a season. And once he proved he could do it, he didn't really have to do it anymore. Only 6 steals this year. Tommy Edman is 0 for 2, struck out and lined to short. The liner was 107 miles an hour that Lindor caught. This one hit a lot more softly. And Minaya makes the play to retire the side, helped out by his outfield. Halfway through, it's tied at 1.
Well, I'm Steve Gelbs, and that is Emma Stone. And you all know who Emma Stone is, famous actress. Now, she looks like she is a Mets fan at the game tonight. Unfortunately, that is, I think that's a lie. That's acting. She is here filming a movie along with Chris Pine that is set to be released called The Catch in May of 2027. Actually, right in front of me, you can see that there is a camera crew as well, because Juan Soto, I'm not sure how big of a role he's playing in this movie, but we did see him shooting a little bit of a cameo during batting practice today. This camera in front of me was shooting him during his at-bat, and one of the producers or stage managers said, okay, if he hits a home run, stay with him. We'll get the crowd reactions later on. But for anybody who is wondering why the Mets are not wearing their home blacks on a Friday night, it is because the movie has taken precedence in this respect, and it's a Mets movie with the classic home uniforms.
Jared Young's 2 for 2 in the movie and in real life as well. Is it going to be like a Reggie Jackson cameo in Naked Gun?
Oh, jeez.
Well, it was interesting to watch them shooting the cameos, because I've never been on a movie set before, and it's you know, they kind of had Juan just look up at the crowd and then go back into the tunnel and then come back out, look at the crowd again, go back into the tunnel. He did the same thing probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 times for what I am assuming will amount to a 3-second clip in the film.
Do we all qualify as extras?
Oh, nice.
I may have tried to sneak in, but I think they're going to cut that.
Luckily, Stanley Kubrick wasn't directing. Might have been 45 takes. You ever see Emma Stone in Birdman?
Yes.
With Michael Keaton?
Yes.
That's my favorite.
That's great.
Yeah, that's my favorite.
Did you guys happen to see a former Met who was out here to be a body double in the movie?
No.
Today? Yeah, so Chris Pine, I believe, I don't know, I haven't gotten the details, it's a little bit under wraps, but I believe Chris Pine plays a Met in the movie, and his stunt double or body double today was Kevin Pillar.
Wow, that's great. Well, since we're talking about ball players and acting,
Yes.
did you read about Jose Iglesias?
No.
He's going to Broadway. He's going to be the narrator in Buena Vista Social Club.
No way.
Which is a fantastic
Yeah.
musical. I recommend it highly, but late August, Jose Iglesias is going to take over the role of the narrator in Buena Vista Social Club. He might even be singing a song in the show.
Wow. Maybe you could come here after the show for a half hour and get everything going late in the game.
He's still a little perturbed that nobody called him this winter. But I guess he's made the turn.
He's moved on.
Out to right field. Tucker's right there to retire Simeon one away. So now Alvarez, who saw one pitch from Sasaki and flied out to center field his first time up. Boy, Jared Young just keeps flying under the radar, and he just keeps on hitting.
He's been one of the bright spots for this year.
I mean, he was on nobody's radar as being a guy who was going to play a significant role on this team. He's now at 156 at bats. His OPS is well over 750. I mean, he's having a really solid year, and he's played good first base as well.
Well, he had a big year in AAA, right? 2025, Gary, and that really, bounced past him to the majors and gave him a really great look in spring, and he hasn't disappointed.
And Alvarez goes down on the splitter. Boy, you're right, Ronnie. Once he gets a guy to fish for that splitter, that's all he throws.
Yeah, he just doesn't let up. If you are not going to be patient, he is just going to go after you, and he has better control kind of throwing it out of the strike zone than he does throwing it in the strike zone. It's a dastardly pitch.
But that ball out of the hand appears.
Yeah, oh yeah. No, he presents it as a strike. It's got wicked movement.
So now 2 away. Young still at first, and here's Ewing. And AJ takes fastball down for ball 1. Ewing is flied to right and grounded to second, 0 for 2. Dodgers 1 run, 5 hits. The Mets 1 run, 3 hits. We're in the 5th. And Ewing swings and misses at a fork ball. And it's 1-1.
Dave Fried will be on the swing and misses on tonight's game.
He will now. There goes Young and gets away from Rushing. Young slid into second. Otherwise, he might have gone to third. Now he's going to go to third anyway. A stolen base for Young. He takes third on the wild pitch when Rushing had trouble locating it.
Well, because he's stealing, Rushing is coming out trying to backhand it. Once it hits the ump's right shoulder, Rushing doesn't know where it is. So Young slides, but he identifies where the ball is, and good reaction. This is a guy that missed time because of his knee this year.
Not much help from Freddie Freeman, who should have been able to see where that ball was a lot sooner than Rushing. So now go ahead run at third with 2 out. And Ewing flies one out to left field. Easy for Hernandez. And that retires the side. A hit and 1 left after 5. Mets 1, Dodgers 1. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man swings back into Queens next Friday. The first 15,000 fans of the game against the Marlins will get a Spider-Man t-shirt. For tickets, go to Mets.com/tickets. Freddie Freeman leading off in the top of the 6th against Sean Manaea, who has been really good tonight and throwing mostly fastballs. For the season, Manaea throws his 4-seamer 34% of the time and his 2-seamer 22%. So that's 56%. His fastball ratio tonight, up close to 80%.
Hit toward the right field corner by Freeman, and that ball's off the wall. Played by Benj, but he bobbled it,
Costing him any chance he might have of getting Freeman at second. Boy, if Benj fields that ball cleanly, it would have been awfully interesting to see whether Freddie could have gotten 2 bases.
Yeah, there's no way he would have got 2 bases if he had fielded it cleanly. 2-0 pitch, fastball down the middle. He jumps all over it. And trying to rush here really was Benj. Although the ball stayed down, it never did come up. I think that's the reason he missed it.
The scorer just scored that a single and an error. That'll be changed.
Come on now.
That's terrible. Mookie Betts flies one out to right center. Robert comes over in the gap and makes the catch. Freeman tags at second, and he'll go over to third. So an advancing fly ball by Betts gets the go-ahead run to third with 1 out.
Some unselfish team baseball there by Betts. Of course, he's going for a base hit knock, but he was going to right field the entire way to move Freddie Freeman over to third.
So now the infield has to come in with Miguel Rojas the batter. Rojas drove in the first Dodgers run with the sacrifice fly. So Minaya in a spot where he could really use a strikeout. Fly ball out to right. Benj getting in front of it. Freeman tagging. Here comes Freeman. Here comes the throw by Benj on a hop, and Freeman is out at the plate. Second outfield assist of the night for Carson Benj. Perfect one-hop strike to Alvarez, who got the tag down on Freeman. He didn't get his first shot at throwing out Freeman, but he took advantage of his second. Powerball double play replay.
A teachable moment here, folks. Just beautiful by Benj, who gets behind the ball and then comes in on it, has all his momentum moving in, and a one-hop strike. Doesn't get any better than that. Tagged by Alvarez on the shin, just below the knee, before Freeman gets the left foot in.
Well, that was a great thing. Mets are about to have a bad thing. Juan Soto is out of the game. Jorge Polanco is batting for him. Soto's been battling a calf issue. He walked his first 2 times up. Has not played the field because he's DHing today. He did have to slide. He didn't really slide the double play.
And he looked pretty frisky out there in the beginning of the game. Nothing wrong with Sasaki, folks. That's just Mark Pryor using a new hitter coming in the game to go out and kind of talk over.
You get a free visit.
Yeah.
When a pinch hitter is announced. So Polanco hits for Soto in the DH spot. Polanco started the last game in Milwaukee, went 0 for 4. 4 for 29 since coming off the injured list. And he takes Sasaki's first splitter at the top of the zone for a strike. After Polanco, it's Bichette and Lindor. Mets have ridden the home run of Luis Robert and the arms of Sean Manaea and Carson Benj to keep this game 1-1 in the 6th. Polanco able to lay off a splitter, 1-2. Polanco fouls away a fastball to stay on the at bat.
Well, those are his numbers so far in this game. Doesn't really reveal, other than the home run from Robert Jr., how dominant he's been in this game.
5 strikeouts, but a ton of swings and misses. And a foul tip held on to by Rushing, and that's strikeout number 6 for Sasaki.
Well, this is a unique pitch. It's a pitch you don't see very often. This is about as good a split finger as you're going to see in all of baseball. You can see how much the Mets hitters are missing that pitch by. Well, join the club. 14 swing and misses in this game alone. 18 is his season high. He's approaching that. But that pitch has been devastating to the Mets offense so far tonight.
This is low and away with a slider to Bichette, who has struck out and grounded into a double play. He takes that splitter just below the zone.
Finally, Bichette might get himself a fastball here. Hasn't seen many of them in his first 2 at bats.
Sasaki has walked 2. Both of those went to Soto, who's now out of the game. And Bichette got a fastball and fouled it back, 2-1. Over the last 41 games coming into tonight, hitting .321 with an .841 OPS. He has been in a groove now for better than a month and a half. Third time around the order for Sasaki. And a fastball right there for a strike, and it's 2-2.
That's a good pitch, doubling up on that fastball. Bichette maybe thought he's going to come back with that split, but you can't really look for the split, because if it's a good one, you won't hit it anyway.
And Sasaki throwing 100 in the 6th inning on his 80th pitch. He comes up and in that time. Full count. Brooks Raley is up in the Mets bullpen. You see, it's been mostly the splitter that's gotten the swings and misses. And that's dribbled up the third baseline. They may go fair. Sasaki picks it up before it does. That ball was curling back toward fair territory, and Sasaki got there in time to keep it from doing so.
Just so well schooled. Great athlete, Sasaki, to get over there. He was so quick. And you're right, Gary, that might have come back with a pitcher with not that kind of quickness and speed.
Bichette, who was running that out, will come back. The scorer has properly taken the error away from Carson Bench on Freddie Freeman's ball in the top of the inning, and is now a double, as it always should have been.
We didn't want to shame him into it. You can stick to your principles.
But 3-2 coming. And he struck him out, got him with a fastball away, perfectly placed by Sasaki, who has back-to-back strikeouts to start the 6th.
Owning this part of the plate, if you're a right-handed pitcher to right-handed hitters, is the most important pitch you can have in your arsenal.
Who's the best you ever saw?
Jacob deGrom. It's the best I've ever seen working that side of the plate.
I'll give you one other.
Okay.
Kurt Schilling.
Oh. Brett Saberhagen in his prime.
So Brooks Raley up in the Mets bullpen. Minaya 84 pitches through 6. I don't know if he's done or if they're just getting Raley up on a maybe. You got the bottom third of the order coming up for the Dodgers in the 7th. Lindor is lined out and struck out 0 for 2. And that fastball cracked the inside corner, and it's 0-2.
I mean, he's carried this stuff here into the 6th inning. Pretty remarkable.
And he got him with a splitter. Rookie Sasaki strikes out the side at the bottom of the 6th, keeps this a 1-1 game. Brooks Raley on to pitch for the Mets as we go to the 7th.
Left-hander taken out Minaya. Left-hander brought in because of the 2 left-handed bats coming in to face Brooks Raley.
Kyle Tucker's had 2 career at-bats against Raley, a home run, and then a bloop single in the first game of that series, or the second game of that series in LA in April.
Yeah, we were there for it. Just kind of a lob wedge over the head of the third baseman. And that was the winning hit that evening.
It'll be Tucker, Hernandez, and Rushing, left, right, left. That's why Raley's in the game. Minaya, 84 pitches over 6 innings, a really good outing. 1 run, 6 hits, 2 walks, 3 strikeouts. There was a rogue base that the grounds crew had not removed. Dino Ebel, Dodgers veteran third base coach, making sure that it did not come into play.
Never seen that before. Hey, did you replace the base? Yeah. Where's the old one?
Okay, now we can start.
I have to say that was the most impressive Manaea start. I know he had the 7-inning start right before the All-Star break, but this is I mean, he has the best record in baseball, this ball club.
Alvarez, just on the off chance that was a fair ball, threw it to first, but Mike Estabrook said foul. And look at the pitchers getting together.
I love the and it makes sense with Clay Holmes in the middle of it. He really is a kind of leader for some of these young pitchers.
By the way, with his back to you is Nolan McLean, whose birthday it is today.
Oh.
Happy birthday, Nolan. 25 today. He'll pitch tomorrow. Tucker pops one up in foul ground. Bichette watches it go out of play. Happy birthday, Nolan.
25.
McLean against Yamamoto tomorrow night.
It's going to be a great one.
Big time. Yamamoto was untouchable against the Mets in April.
Be watching from the couch.
Yeah. Much better view.
Yamamoto coming off a complete game effort in his last start.
Yeah, that was his first regular season complete game.
Yeah.
He had 2 in the postseason last year.
And then pitched in relief in Game 7.
Yeah, on 0 days rest. The Yeoman postseason performances of all time. 2-2 to Tucker, and the sweeper popped foul. This one will come back out of play as well. Well, the Dodgers have run away and hid in the National League West. Standings brought to you by Stop and Shop. Diamondbacks have been playing great lately. They've moved into the 3rd wild card spot in the National League, despite being 11 games out of first place.
Yeah, Padres not so much. Dodgers run differential this year plus 157 coming into this game.
The Padres are now 4 games out of the wild card. And that has led some people to speculate that maybe Mason Miller might be on the move again.
That's a year after they acquired him, right?
The Marlins looked like they were going to be putting pressure on the wild card race, but now they've lost 9 in a row to fall 2 games back, even with the Nationals. Slap toward third. Tough play for Bichette on the backhand. Off balance, not in time. Now Tucker again against Raley, just hits it softly in the right spot.
Is that a leadoff hit for the Dodgers in 6 of the 7 innings?
That is correct.
Wow.
And they've scored only once. So now Teoscar Hernandez, who had a double over the third base bag, leading off the third, then flied out in the fourth. And he takes a backdoor cutter for a strike, 0-1. Good changeup by Raley. A ball and a strike. Kyle Tucker at first is an opportunistic base stealer. 6 for 6 this year. Tough to run against Raley, who holds him extremely well. And Teoscar bloops one, and that's going to fall for a base hit. And Tucker will go first to third. 2 soft hits for the Dodgers, and they have first and third and nobody out.
I mean, good pitch by Raley. Change up before, then came in with the cutter, jams him. Nothing you can do when the hitter drops one in like that. And what a start here for the Dodgers in the 7th.
So the go-ahead run at third with nobody out. The number 9 hitter Dalton Rushing is coming up. Rushing has struck out and flied out against Manaea, now facing another lefty, and you wonder whether the Dodgers would consider squeezing.
Yeah, safety squeeze.
That's bring the infield most of the way in. Semien and Lindor a few steps behind the grass.
Tucker's got above average speed.
And I think you have to commit to playing all the way in here, don't you?
Yes, I would.
And there's rushing, squaring, gets it down. Raley has a play at the plate, and now they've got Tucker in a rundown. And Bichette running after him and just got him in time, and the runners move to second and third. Not well executed at all by the Mets. Raley fielded it easily and had the play, but Tucker stayed in the rundown long enough to get the runners to second and third.
Almost a disastrous kind of play. First, Raley does the right job. He gets the ball to Alvarez. Watch, though, after he throws it here to Bichette. See how Tucker touched Alvarez trying to get some, maybe a call made, but Bichette finally runs him down, literally a foot from the plate.
Because Tucker's a lot faster than he is, and he could have gotten away.
And what you have to do, if you get caught in the safety squeeze coming home, you've got to get in the rundown long enough. And Teoscar reads it here and decides to take third. And when he does that, Rushing can take second base. And even though it's an out, it's a productive play by Rushing and the Dodgers.
Oh, I mean, if the Mets execute the rundown, it's first and second, which is what it should have been. I mean, Alvarez has to do a better job of running him back toward third, doesn't he?
Well, yes. The first thing is that in that play, Raley doesn't have to get rid of it right away. He could have stalled Tucker so he didn't have that momentum. But once he got it to Alvarez got to run him, so he's running really hard to third so he can't stop and change momentum.
He gave Bichette too much ground to cover to try and chase Tucker down. So now Ohtani going to pitch to him? Apparently so. Second and third, one out at first base open. And a swing and a foul ball, 0-1. Well, they're calling the issue for Soto left calf soreness. That's what's been plaguing him over the last week. So not a good sign that it cropped up tonight. He was lifted for a pinch hitter. 0-1 to Ohtani. And the sweeper misses away, a ball and a strike. Ohtani 1 for 6 in his career against Raley. He got Pages, the right-hand hitter, on deck. And Andy Green opting to go after Ohtani. And he flies one to center. This will get the run in. Tagging at third is Hernandez. Robert makes the catch. Hernandez comes in to score. Rushing goes to third. It's 2-1 LA. So the Dodgers getting a pair of runs tonight on sacrifice flies to take their first lead of the night.
And it was all the lack of execution on the pickle with Tucker that produces the second run for the Dodgers.
'61 RBIs for Ohtani. Rushing at third with 2 out, and now Pages fouls away a first pitch cutter.
Gets a cutter, but this one's up and flat. So he's able to deliver that sac fly. And a look at the runner on third base before he proceeds to first.
Checking to make sure it was somebody who could run fast enough to come home. Change up down to Pages, a ball and a strike. Pages lined out to Robert in center field his last time up, 0 for 2 and a walk tonight. And Weaver was up in the Mets bullpen briefly. I guess if Ohtani had walked, they would have brought Weaver in with the bases loaded to face Pages.
And Pages has great, really good speed, so tough to double up if they had played the middle infield back.
Well, 2 soft hits, a poorly executed rundown, and a sacrifice fly, and that's enough to get the lead run home against Raley, who deserved better. 1-2 coming. Just missed away. 2-2.
You know, on a night that the offense is not working on all cylinders, Dodgers have been able to play some small ball, some smart ball, some team offensive baseball.
Sacrifice fly by Rojas got the first run in the 4th, and now Ohtani with the fly ball to get the second run in here in the 7th.
I mean, the Dodgers have made 3 outs on the bases in the last 2 innings.
Carson Bench with 2 outfield assists, 1 at third and 1 at home. Sweeper foul back. Dodgers have been in the postseason 13 consecutive years, 12 division titles in the 13 years. They're on their way to a 14th consecutive trip, trying to become the first team to win 3 straight World Series since the Yankees at the turn of the century, 98 through 2000. 3-2 coming. Fly ball toward the right field line. That will foul and into the netting. Let's check out the road ahead, brought to you by your Tri-State Chevy dealers. Fox has the game tomorrow night. We're back with you on SNY on Sunday. Braves are in for 3 starting on Monday, and then the Marlins for 4 before the Mets take their longest road swing of the year to Cleveland, Pittsburgh,
Atlanta?
and Atlanta. Right. Thank you. Pius takes strike 3 call. He's going to challenge it. It was a cutter near the top of the zone on a 3-2 pitch.
But he's taking his gloves off.
And he's going to first base.
That's not a good miss there from home plate umpire.
So now runners at the corners with 2 out. Tommy Edman the batter. Edman is 0 for 3 tonight, including a 107-mile-an-hour line drive to short. 0 for 2 in his career against Raleigh. And a quick pitch hit on the ground to Lindor. Straightens up and fires. Close play, but he got him. Side retired. Ball hit softly, and Lindor had to hurry. Dodgers scratch out a run and lead it 2-1 at the 7th inning stretch. We mentioned the Dodgers going after a 3rd straight World Series championship. It has not been done often in baseball history. Last time was the Yankees, the Padres in '98, the Braves in '99, and the Mets in 2000. Last team before that was the Swingin' A's in the 70s.
72, 73, and 74 for the A's. And the Yankees twice.
Well, they won 5 in a row.
5 in a row.
49 to 53 under Casey Stengel. Carson Bench has had himself quite a night in the field. 2 outfield assists. First Mets rookie to have 2 outfield assists in a game since Juan Lagares in 2013. That, though, came in a 20-inning game against the Marlins. Last time a Met rookie did it in a 9-inning game was Nick Evans.
Oh, what?
In Houston in 2008. Evan Phillips up in the bullpen. Bench goes down swinging on a splitter. And that is 9 strikeouts for Sasaki, including the last 4. Also, Bench's throw to the plate to get Freeman, 100 miles an hour.
No way.
The hardest outfield assist for any Met since they started keeping track 11 years ago. He broke the record set by Carson Bench earlier this season. Here's Luis Robert, who was responsible for the only Met run. He hits a 3-hopper to shortstop, and Betts throws him out, and Sasaki has 2 quick outs in the 7th. So Sasaki is now retired 8 in a row. He has not gone beyond 7 innings in a major league start. Most pitches he's thrown is 104. But right now he is cruising. A.J. Minter getting ready for the 8th inning for New York. Jared Young has a single, a double, a stolen base tonight. And he takes low and in for ball 1. The stolen base was his first of the year. And he turned it into 2 bases.
Right.
The ball got away from rushing, and he went to third. But the Mets were unable to cash him in.
You know, we talk about this with Nolan McLean, the inexperience. This is only the 26th start for Sasaki in the regular season, so he's figuring it out.
He was really good against the Yankees last Friday.
That's right.
Even better tonight. Rounded on the right side. Easy play for Rojas. And Sasaki gets through 7, matching his career long outing. 2-1 Dodgers. Baseball on Pix 11 is brought to you by AARP New York. Age proud, connected by community. By Slowmans. Visit ac.slowmans.com for incredible savings on central air conditioning. And by 800 Got Junk. We make junk disappear. In-game box score for the Dodgers brought to you by Jake's 58 Casino Hotel. Couple of sacrifice flies plated the 2 Dodger runs. Rookie Sasaki has done the rest. Now the Mets will go to their 3rd left-hander of the night. A.J. Minter in to face Freddie Freeman, who's 2 for 3 tonight. What new? And he lines his 3rd hit of the night. Wasting no time getting on that first pitch cutter against his old Braves teammate. His first ever hit against A.J. Minter.
Just all serious. You know, this has been documented by Steve Gelbs many times. When he takes BP, he just tries to hit line drives over the shortstop's head. Doesn't try to hit the ball to the ballpark. That fine tunes his swing.
So the Dodgers have a leadoff hit for the 7th time in 8 innings.
I don't know if I've ever seen that.
Mookie Betts fouls away a fastball.
Those are numbers for Minter. Although the last 5 outings he's given up 3 runs, so hasn't been as stellar as he's been most of the year.
There goes Freeman. The throw by Alvarez on a hop, and Freeman is safe. Freddie steals his 5th base of the year. That's embarrassing.
Well, kind of a sloppy slide here from Freddie, but he got a great jump against his ex-teammate. Maybe knew that Minter might not.
Mets are challenging the call.
They're saying that he was in safe, but once his left foot came off the bag, Simeon stayed on with the tag. So at some point, did he become disconnected to the bag? So he's safe here. Tag's late. Now his left foot comes off and the tag is still on his hip. Does his right foot come in the bag late and then he's off there, but then his left arm? So anytime if he was disconnected from the bag because of Simeon staying with the tag, they'll be able to call it out.
Yeah, I don't know. Ron Kolpa and Alan Porter are the crew chiefs in the replay center.
To me, that's a stolen base, but maybe they're seeing it at a different angle than we're seeing it. And again, I don't think this play was what replay was intended for, in my opinion.
Which is why I have been advocating from the start of replay to take away the video coordinators and just have the managers decide from the dugout immediately, the same way that the hitters and catchers have to immediately challenge ABS. Should be exactly the same.
And so what you're saying is that if it had to be decided by the manager, there's no way that they would challenge this.
The point of replay was to take away the egregiously bad calls, not the millimeters and the nanoseconds, which is what we're dealing with here.
Once they get the CBA figured out, they'll get it right on that one. Get the manager to do it. He's there to make a decision anyway.
I know one thing. If we say it, they'll never do it.
Yeah, that's true. Okay, my lips are sealed. There's 3 classy players right there. around second base.
For Freddie Freeman, that is his 20th three-hit game against the Mets.
What?
Review the calls confirmed. The runner is safe. And New York will Big Tower.
20th, you said?
20th. The most is 27 three-hit games against the Mets. Pete Rose and a guy who ended up playing for the Mets and managing them, Joe Torre.
Oh, wow.
Freeman in scoring position, 1-1 to Betts. And Mookie pops one up. Semien with the angle, but it's Young who's going to stay with it and just barely hangs on. Well, that's a ball Semien's going to call him off. He had a much better angle to that ball, but Young made the play.
Well, Semien saying that ball really moved. It's my bad. I should have called you off it once it started floating his way.
Wow. Just little things, Ronnie.
Yeah, just, communication, being in tune with your teammate.
Run down plays, same deal. Miguel Rojas and a sacrifice fly for the first Dodger run. Thought he might have a second, but then Carson Bench intervened and threw out Freeman at the plate to complete a 9-2 double play.
When I think of Dodgers offense, I always think of real deliberate at-bats, 4 or 5 pitches seen. They, in the second half of this game, second part of this game, been really aggressive, and that's started with Sean Manaea, who's throwing a lot of strikes.
Victor bounces that cutter. Ball on a strike. Hiroki Sasaki going 7 innings. It's the 23rd time this year the Dodgers have gotten 7 innings or more from a starter. That is the most in the majors. Broken bat pop up, and Lindor comes in to get it. 2 out. The Phillies are second on that list. They have 19 games with a starter going 7 or more. The Mets have 8.
The expected batting average for the Dodgers tonight has to be down. I mean, they have.
Well, we were looking at the last inning against Raleigh, and the exit velocities were comical. Cal Tucker has an infield hit and a walk tonight, 1 for 2. In that last inning, Tucker had a base hit, which was 79 miles an hour.
Okay.
Hernandez had a base hit that was 65 miles an hour. Rushing hit a fielder's choice on a bunt that was 34 miles an hour. And Edman grounded out at 48 miles an hour.
And how about that Rojas? Linia.
54. So a lot of soft contact.
Yep.
Freeman at second with 2 out. Dodgers have Evan Phillips getting ready for the bottom of the 8th. And that's slowed down to right field. Back goes Bench to the warning track. Looks up and it's out of here. Kyle Tucker with a 2-run homer, his 8th of the year. And that gives the Dodgers some breathing room. It's now 4-1. So Tucker, his first game playing in the ballpark against the team he spurned, hits a 2-run homer.
Yeah, A.J. Minch has just been off his last 6 appearances. Not as sharp, and made a mistake there to Tucker. I think it was another cutter that was down out over the middle of the plate. Tucker hit a bullet. That ball had no movement on it. Minch's reaction, stay in the park. They never do. He knows it, so do I.
just don't think those were his words.
Well, I got to clean it up, Gary.
Fly ball out to right, and Benj has this one lined up and retires Hernandez, and that ends the inning. But a 2-run homer by Tucker stretches the Dodger lead to 4-1. Hyundai Mets box score, a home run by Luis Robert, the only run of the game. Jared Young has the other 2 hits on what has been a cool night for the Mets. Offensively, Kyle Tucker, the guy who got away, hit a 2-run homer.
Well, he's a tall player. He's got a long swing, but that long swing stays in the strike zone a long time, and that extension through that ball produced that line drive home run. It's a funnier swing, but the mechanics are good from that side view.
Evan Phillips just back from a long stint on the injured list, coming back from Tommy John surgery. Takes over the pitching in the bottom of the 8th. Phillips got back about 2 weeks ago after having Tommy John surgery in May of last year.
Well, he's known for that good hard cutter, and those first 2 pitches were that cutter.
Marcus Semien has struck out and flied out 0 for 2. Alvarez and Ewing to follow. If you just missed it, Juan Soto had to leave the game with more soreness in that troublesome left calf. Fly ball toward the right field line. Over comes Tucker, and he reaches out and snags it. 1 out.
Oh, coming out of the lights, and Tucker secures it right on the line.
So 1 out and nobody on. Now Alvarez, who flied out and struck out against Sasaki. Roki Sasaki, 7 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 2 walks, 9 strikeouts, 95 pitches. It's a back-to-back extra base hits against him in the 2nd, and other than that, he was in firm command, using his split to great effect. It's a lot of shakes.
3 shakes, and finally rushing calls timeout and says, wait a minute. I thought you only had 2 pitches.
Every time we run this spot, it gets louder and louder. I feel as though I'm in the car myself.
I'm afraid to drive home tonight. Jeez.
In Philadelphia tonight, Cam Schlittler outdueled Jesus Luzardo. Yankees 1, Phillies nothing, the final. And off the mask of rushing. Seemed unperturbed. Cubs got a run in the 10th to beat the Pirates 3-2. Chicago still sitting in that first wild card spot in the National League. The Tigers won again. What are they going to do?
I know.
They're going to do like they did 2 years ago, strip it down and then get to the postseason anyway?
Are they going to decide to do what the Angels did a few seasons ago and not get anything for one of the best players in the game? Skubal, I'm talking about.
Senga up in the bullpen. Well,
there's a drive deep to left field, right down the line, and Alvarez has a home run. Of the year for Francisco Alvarez, gets the Mets back to within 2.
The Mets 2 solo home runs tonight, 2 bombs from Robert Jr. and now from Alvarez on a hanging cutter slider from Phillips. Phillips trying to work out the kinks, but when you throw these high hanging sliders, they just stay right in the middle of the plate. You saw it come in almost fluttering, being ready to be hit deep into the night by Alvey.
Phillips still trying to work his way back. He's now worked 5 1/3 innings coming back from Tommy John. He's given up 3 home runs. Ball strike to A.J. Ewing. Well, that Kyle Tucker home run was enormous. Ewing is 0 for 3 tonight. Flied out twice and grounded out. Late on the high fastball from Phillips. It's 0-2. Jorge Polanco is on deck in Soto's spot.
Well, you can always get a big cut from Alvarez. And when he times it perfectly, they disappear.
On the inside corner, Ewing's going to challenge it. Ball looked like it was in. And up.
Hitting the ball.
Estabrook is not going to be happy with this report card after the game.
His tone gets more and more despondent with every overturn he announces. One and 2 to Ewing. And he takes that one high. Estabrook has now been challenged 5 times tonight and overturned all 5.
The veteran umpires are the ones that have had, for the most part, the hardest part with the ABS.
Some of the younger umpires used it in the minor leagues.
Right.
And Ewing takes that one up and away, and now it's 3-2. Ewing started this at bat down 0-2. Now if you can get aboard, tying run would come to bat. Tanner Scott, who's been closing games in the absence of Diaz, is getting ready. 3-2. And it's popped up into left field. Hernandez waiting for it. 2 out.
Well, Evan Phillips, 17th round pick for the Atlanta Braves. He was with the Tampa Bay Rays when he was waived, and the Dodgers picked him up. And what a success story he's been. He's been a big part of that bullpen before he had his Tommy John surgery.
2022, he pitched in 64 games and had a 1.14 ERA. One of the great seasons any reliever's ever had. So now Polanco, who struck out, pinch hitting for Soto in the 6th. He takes a fastball for a strike from Phillips. Jorge Polanco has just not been able to get any traction either early in the season or since coming back from the injured list.
It's almost to the point where, as a player, Gary, because of the injuries, you know, you're trying to fight uphill to make something of this season. But boy, it's slipping away.
Ciano Perez up. Kodai Senga had been up earlier, but he sat down and Perez got up. Mets have already used 3 lefties tonight. 1 out, 1 more. Two out and nobody on. 1 and 2 to Polanco. And the fastball misses. 2-2.
You know, your time in the major leagues is so precious. So when you have a year where it's almost a lost year, it's so defeating.
Slider stays outside, and now it's 3-2. Second straight full count for Phillips. Bo Bichette would be next. And Polanco got ahead of that one and pulled the cutter foul. I mean, Jorge Polanco has been such an offensive force throughout his career. To watch him struggle like this is just, it's hurtful. Seventh pitch of the at bat, and he foul tipped it for strike 3. So the Mets get just the 1 run on the Alvarez home run. It's 4-2 Dodgers as we go to the 9th at Citi Field. After the game tonight here on Pix 11, Simone and Joe Masseri will have a special game edition of New York Nightcap presented by Nissan. They'll have all the latest football news as the local teams get ready to fully open their camps next week. Ninth inning at Citi Field. Cianel Perez will be the 4th consecutive left-hander the Mets have sent to the mound tonight.
Softball night here for the Mets.
Is that a left-handed compliment?
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, the big crowd is sticking around. We got fireworks after the game tonight. Dodger fans looking very cocky. Well, why wouldn't you be?
I mean, come on.
Dalton Rushing is 0 for 3 tonight. Bunted into a fielder's choice his last time up. Well, when you win championships, you not only draw at home, you draw on the road.
Well, they have great star power, and they got the biggest star in the game.
Now, year after year, until very recently, the Yankees would lead baseball in road attendance, but, you know, they haven't won a championship in a while. Rushing flies one out to shallow right. Semien out. Benj in. Benj one hands it, one out.
There's a lot of transplanted Angelinos that are here in Manhattan.
You think there are any Brooklyn Dodger fans left who come out to root for the Dodgers?
Honestly, when I played in my first year, 83, 84 when the Dodgers visited, that was one of the cool things being at Shea Stadium was when the Dodgers came in, all the Brooklyn hats came out.
Well, when the Mets began in 1962, after the Dodgers and Giants had bolted 4 years earlier, they drew 900,000 total their first year at the Polo Grounds. And almost half of that, it seemed, was for the Dodgers and the Giants. 50,000 would show up every time the Dodgers or Giants came in to play. And obviously there were a lot of remaining fans who stuck with the teams after they went to the West Coast. But that's a long time ago. 68 years now since the Dodgers and Giants left town.
Well, I heard this all the time when I first started playing, that fans, once the teams voted for the West Coast, they became Mets fans because they were National League fans.
Well, one of the most interesting things about that is that the years following the Dodgers and Giants departure, as Ohtani goes down on strikes for the second out, is that the Yankees' attendance in 1958-59 went down.
Wow.
So they didn't go and watch the Yankees, those Dodgers and Giants fans. They were waiting for a National League team. Two out and nobody on. Here's Andy Pages. And he drives one toward the gap in right center. Benj cutting over, reaches up, can't get it. Lost his glove in the process. Around second, Pages, he'll get to third base easily with a triple. Benj trying to make a spectacular catch in the gap, extended his glove so far it came off his hand.
He was there in time, Gary. His route, though, was a little underneath, so the ball just crept over his glove. Tried to get as much max out of the length of his glove that he lost his glove and backed up by Robert Jr.
Baez, his second triple of the year for the Dodgers. Their 11th hit of the night. Tommy Edman's gone 0 for 4 tonight.
Big run here. You know, 2-run disadvantage. Keep it here. Give yourself a bloop and a bomb.
Alvarez keeps that in front of him, 2-0.
You know, a lot of outfielders hold the glove kind of out off their hand anyway. They use kind of a pronged grip inside their glove. So that's why it came flying off as he flailed at it to try to make the great play.
Tied a little tighter. And the backdoor breaking ball in for a strike to Edman, 2-1. And Edman swings through the fastball, 2-2. Tanner Scott up in the bullpen for the Dodgers, getting ready for the save opportunity. Mets will have Bichette, Lindor, and Benj due up in the bottom of the ninth. Baez at third with 2 out. 2-2 coming to Edman. Trying to backdoor that breaking ball again. Couldn't get it there. 3-2. Daniel Duarte is up in the Mets bullpen. Perez trying to put this top of the ninth to bed. And Edman takes the curveball for strike 3 call. Nice job by Perez. Couple of strikeouts to the bottom of the ninth. Mets down 2. Last of the ninth, Mets down 4-2. Rookie Sasaki went the first 7 for the Dodgers.
Well, he used his fastball enough to get ahead, and then the split finger was just so good. Split finger fork ball combination ended up with a season high 21 swings and misses, and a lot of the Mets hitters' swing and misses were by a great margin.
And now Tanner Scott comes in to pitch the bottom of the ninth. Bo Bichette leads off. Scott 15 for 17 in save opportunities in the absence of Edwin Diaz. The line on Sasaki, who's in line for his 4th win of the year.
I said those 21 swing and misses were a season high. They're a career high for Mr. Sasaki. What a game. Scott first started with Baltimore. The Mets, of course, saw a lot of him when he was in Miami with the Marlins.
He went to San Diego before landing with the Dodgers last year. Goes upstairs with the fastball to get home. Bichette 1-2.
I would say that Scott was an erstwhile guy who had a great arm but didn't always have great control. In San Diego, he really figured it out and turned it into a big contract with the Dodgers.
His last year in Miami, he averaged 5.3 walks per 9 innings. San Diego, he got it down to 3.1. This year, 1.1 walk per 9 innings. Lindor on deck, Bench behind him. 2-2 to Bichette. Goal line's one foul.
It's one of the keys in today's game is that you still have to develop these players, even the great players, while they're in the major leagues.
Who would know that better than a farm director?
That's right.
Swing and a miss, got him with the slider. And Scott has a strikeout to start the bottom of the ninth. 3rd time Bichette's been fanned tonight. 11 Ks for Dodger pitching. And now Francisco Lindor lined out his first time up, struck out his 2 subsequent at-bats. Lindor 3 for 11 in his career against Scott. First right-handed at-bat of the night. And that one caught the top of the zone, 0-1. Don't forget, tomorrow night's game is on Fox. Nolan McLean against Yoshinobu Yamamoto. And then the Mets back on SNY Sunday for the final game of the series with Freddie Peralta against Emmett Sheehan. Half swing, he went around. It's 0-2. Sheehan's from here, right?
He is from Darien, Connecticut.
Went to Boston College. Darien, that's like Tommy Rockland.
Yeah.
Area. Buchanan, Darien. When we do our, football leagues in need, they don't win.
No.
Good.
They don't need it.
Carson Bench waiting on deck. Let's need a base runner any way they can get one to have a chance in this game. And Lindor takes it up and away, and it's 2-2.
Scott looking for his 3rd save on this road trip. Had one at Yankee Stadium, one at Citizens Bank Park.
Diamondbacks won again tonight. They're 4th in a row. That team's coming. 2-2. And the slider down. Did you see that Corbin Carroll is now tied for the active lead in triples career?
Really?
Yeah, tied with Starling Marte and maybe Bobby Witt. And he's played far fewer games. 3-2.
Rushing, going out to talk to his veteran left-hander. Wants to ask him what he wants to throw instead of making a call, even on the pitch column, where he's got to shake. So a lot of times when that happens, you say to him, okay, I'm going to go back with the breaking ball, but if he fouls this one off, then we go with the fastball, or the other way around.
Seventh pitch of the at bat coming from Scott to Lindor. And he rifles one foul into the netting. Trout is the third, not.
Oh, that makes sense, right?
So Marte and Trout have obviously had far more at bats than Carroll. 55 triples apiece. And Lindor skies one to right. Should be easy for Tucker. 2 out.
Well, the Dodgers pitching, which has retired 14 of the last 15, just the Alvarez home run, the only blemish. They've been able to make that pitch when they've had to. They've had some 3-2 counts where you think the hitter has a little bit of an advantage, and a quality pitch from Scott there, down and away. Got Lindor out.
Now Bench tries to keep the Mets alive. Carson has had an active night in the field, 7 putouts and 2 outfield assists. But he's gone 0 for 3 at the plate, a ground out and 2 strikeouts. Luis Robert, who was already homered tonight, would be next. And that's rifled to center field. Pages gives some ground. He's there, and the Dodgers have taken the opening game of this series. Roki Sasaki with 7 terrific innings. Dodgers play some small ball, and then Kyle Tucker with a 2-run homer. And the Mets fall 4-2 in the opening game of this 10-game homestand.
Yeah, just 2 solo home runs by Luis Robert Jr. and Francisco Alvarez was the Mets scoring tonight. Bullpen was solid, but the story of the game, other than the small ball by the Dodgers offense, was Roki Sasaki. That has to be one of his best starts in the major leagues. 7 innings and had the best split finger we've seen all year.
So the Dodgers, who have the best record in baseball, now 28 games over 500, as Sasaki turns in a 7-inning gem, and they defeat the Mets for the 4th straight time this season. That's a score just 5 runs in the 4 games against LA this year. More coming up from Citi Field in just a moment.